Hey guys, Lawrence here, and welcome back to the third edition of The Comment Section. For those of you who might not know what the comment section is, I talk about various different comments that come up on these videos, and I answer them. It's basically just a glorified Q&A, but hey, I like the name comment section. It's something that was a bit of a holdover from the main channel, but I thought it should have a nice new home here. Right, let's get answering the questions. Why haven't you ever mentioned that you've been the singer for the official English dubs ending of DBS for weeks? Please talk about it! I had a couple of people on Twitter asking me about this because they saw a screenshot that had my name in it, not my real name. They had my nom de plume, Master Coex, on it. I'm thinking, this is news to me. I am not the official singer of Dragon Ball Super, nor will I ever be, because obvious reasons, you know? Good old you know who. Lawrence, do you watch Pokemon mainly Sun and Moon or X and Y? No, I don't watch Pokemon really, because I don't really have the time. I don't know, maybe it's just because I stopped watching TV back in the day. I started going to secondary school, didn't really have time for Pokemon. It was kind of like that age range between 13 and 17 where it was not really cool to like things which are now nostalgic. Nowadays, it's completely fine to like anything at whatever age, but back when I was growing up, yeah, the only thing that you could really admit to watching vaguely is Dragon Ball Z, and that's pretty much it. What happened to the whole What Infinity thing? I understand if you don't want to answer if there's still plans to follow up on it. Oh no, don't worry, there are. Trouble is though, the R&R's kind of gotten in the way, and a lot of the people that are working on the artwork for What Infinity work on R&R also, so it's about trying to balance resources in some way and make sure that the execution of What Infinity goes off without a hitch, or is to the best of our abilities. We will get to it, it's just going to take a little bit longer. And hey, maybe something I did in the What Ifs kind of staved it off for a little bit more time. You never know which scenario kind of tipped the balance in the scales of our favour, eh? Have you played a Sonic game, and if so, what is your favourite? Oh yeah, I used to play Sonic all the time when I was a kid. I grew up with a Mega Drive and a Saturn. I was a Sega boy back in the day. The reason why I wasn't really Nintendo is because my brother had the Nintendo consoles. We actually had a Nintendo 64 in secret from our parents for like 2 years because they didn't want us buying an N64. That's a whole other story for a different video. I used to love the Sonic first trilogy. Sonic's 1, 2, and 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic R, I like that game. But I suppose one of the favorites I absolutely loved playing, and I kept on playing for ages, was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. But I suppose out of the classic games, probably Sonic 3. Are you hyped for Smash Ultimate? And if so, which newcomers are you excited to play the most? I grew up with the first 3 games, definitely. I did dabble in the 4th game, but again, with the Wii U, you know, it was kind of on life support back in 2014 even. Maybe now that it's actually, you know, on a stable platform, I might even stream it if I'm lucky or if I have time. But I suppose other than newcomers for it, I'm really looking forward to playing Daisy. I know that a lot of you are going to be really upset by that, but hey, I likes my Daisy. What's your favourite part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I kind of already answered this in my Why I Like JoJo video, so if you want to go and check that out, link up here. But in terms of the specific thing I like about it, is its flamboyance. I am one for having something with character and charm, and JoJo has that in spades. There's just something about whichever part you look at, there's always something to like. I know that a lot of people, when they were watching the first episode of Golden Wind, that they were going like, ooh, I'm not really sure about this, ooh. I know that AJ was, you know, saying that, oh god, it might be really boring. No. There is always something to like about each part. Hello from the Netherlands. Goedemiddag. Or good morgen? Depends on when you're watching this. What, in your opinion, is the difference between impression, fan dubs, and voice acting? You might think on the surface that it's pretty much all the same, really. But it depends on the application and how you go about doing a particular voice for that. An impression, you're just doing an impression to say that you can do the voice. Now, a fan dub is the next step up, because a fan dub, you want to try and emulate the original product and come up with something truly compelling to be a dub, but a fan version of it. But this also means that you have complete creative freedom of how you express yourself. You want to say a line in a particular way, you know, pretty much go for it. There's no one really telling you not to, unless it's the director, if the director is really hands-on with that particular project. But when it comes to the official stuff, it's kind of a bit more restrictive, if you know what I mean. Usually the director knows exactly what they want, and then also the studio behind it. So, for example, if Funimation or Sentai are doing a dub of something, usually the Japanese side, the original producers of it, have a say in who gets cast and how the voice is portrayed in the line. In short, there's a lot of micromanagement. Fandubs, there's a bit more freedom and versatility. Hi Lawrence, have you ever interested to study science? Because some of your Dragon Ball discussion videos are so scientific, especially the Supreme Kai Beerus in Universe 7 should be the story topic, and I love it. And did you graduate from college before? I mean, it was from an art college, but I did graduate with a 2-1, I almost got a first in that, so, you know, almost a degree with honours. When it comes to science, I did dabble in wanting to learn astronomy and that kind of stuff. Learning about space and physics, that's something that got me vaguely interested. But honestly, I don't really need to because Philly, she's got like 2 degrees already. She went to Durham for one, and she knows a lot about zoology and biology. I mean, she did help with the whole Saiyan genetics video. That was pretty much her doing some initial research, and then I helped kind of finish it off. You know, she helped out a lot on that one. She even helped me find the lab coat for that video. I love the data bus. Yes, that's how long I follow you. Would you bring back some Lego things you did back then? Ah, yes, the data bus. The one attempt I tried to become a tech tuber. It didn't really work out because I didn't really have the money to buy tech. In terms of Lego, I do have plans in the works because we have bought a couple of big Lego sets in the last few months that we want to try and find some way displaying to the world, whether it be a stream or whether it's just a simple video. We might have the big Millennium Falcon, but we have at least the Lego architecture things. We do like our Lego, so we will dabble in that a little bit more. The advent calendars, probably not. I've already done it. And also, they're not that great a value. Would you ever write your own original and serious fanfic saga of Dragon Ball? I mean, I know you have R&R, but I'm talking about something more serious and dramatic with its own villains. R&R is a bit of an interim project to kind of work with an original story, but with, you know, already established character archetypes. So kind of a halfway interim project, but I did have one, actually, based on when Goku and Vegeta leave Earth before they die, and they try and have one last battle and training session before they do so, or just to kind of end it. And I called it Dragon Ball Ascent, and I came up with a bullet point structure of how the story would go, but I feel like if I ever did it, it would be a serious one. So I did have a plan. Whether I'll actually see it out remains to be seen. Hey Lawrence, being a fellow car guy, what would be your dream car and why? I'd love to have a Honda S2000 because that little car, it's a drop top, it's a 2-seater, and it can really rev at 9,000 RPM. It sounds absolutely amazing, and a reliable engine as well. I suppose if it was like anything bigger, maybe BMW Z4, maybe? Yeah, those are kind of cool. What's your view on power considering your popularity? Becoming popular on this platform is really, really something to behold and make the most of. It's not something to be squandered. If you have a following on here, that means people really like you. They like what you have to say. You have to take that seriously. You can wield a lot of power and influence on people. Whatever you say, some people might just take it verbatim. If you're not careful, you could really breed malcontent and discontent on just discord throughout the entire communities. When it comes to being at conventions, you gotta treat people with respect and give them the time of day, because too often I see YouTubers really, you know, abusing their power and their status, and they're being really flippant with their fans, treating them like cattle. They wait for hours, they take time out of their day to be there to see you, and you just walk by and don't even give them any so much as a smile. Just be grateful for what you get. What countries have you traveled to so far, and where are you planning to go in the future? Well, we have mentioned that we're going to Japan over Christmas and New Year, so that's definitely one thing. In terms of countries that I've visited, the ones I can think off the top of my head, France, Belgium, Holland, Switzerland, Finland, Norway, America, Canada, Austria, Italy, Greece, Montenegro, Croatia. Slovenia is a really underrated country, by the way. It's really cheap, it's really, really sparsely populated, and it's really quiet in terms of tourists. Go to Slovenia, go to Ljubljana and Lake Bled. Absolutely wonderful. Hey Lawrence, still used to calling you Marsico. Have you ever heard of No, I'm not falling for that one. What a nutty question. Hi Lawrence, are you a fan of horror anime and manga? Do you have any favorites? I don't really know. I suppose I don't have a specific favorite, but I suppose the one that really got me engaged the most and kind of almost like horrified, as it were, probably was a little series called Pupa. It was like something I reviewed, one of my earlier reviews when I was doing the Anaphile website, and it was mainly about some kind of parasite almost, and how it kind of infected one other set of twins. And the only way that this girl's hunger could be satiated is for her brother to allow her to eat him. And that happens a lot. I mean, it didn't gross me out because you could barely see it, but in terms of the concept and the implications, ugh. What is your PC and setup for editing or gaming? Or if you use separate PCs, what are their specs? Pretty much the same machine. In short, 64 gig of RAM, an Intel 5th gen like a 5820K, GTX 980 Ti water-cooled thing. I do want to look into getting a new PC eventually, or pretty soon, because it's starting to chug a little bit. But I don't think I'd fully retire it, as it were. I'd probably keep it specifically for gaming. I'll leave a link to the 2 videos I was talking about it in greater detail if you're curious to actually know more. Could you do a Draw My Life? Well, I don't draw really that well, so maybe when we get to 500,000 subscribers on the main channel, I might do a Draw My Life. We'll see how it goes. Aside from working on TFS The Bridge series, do you keep in regular contact with the other TFS people? No, not really. And that's just down to the fact they're all so busy doing work and other projects, you know, you don't really get time to kind of just sit on Discord or sit on Skype for doing social calls. I mean, it used to be different back in the day, but honestly, we're just working all the time. It's kind of hard to keep a social life, you know, what with geography. Is purple your favorite color? It is my favorite color. There's just something about purple I really like. It just really feels me, you know. You don't often get men liking purple, and that's a real crime because purple, dang it, it's a really cool color. And wrapping up, Lawrence, will you ever do another Nuzlocke? I really enjoyed your last one. Well, what was holding me off doing another Nuzlocke was because it didn't go down that well on the main channel, because, you know, it's Dragon Ball channel, Pokemon. But maybe now I've got the second channel, I'll try and think of like a different game maybe. Maybe like do something a bit more nuanced, like a randomizer type thing. I don't know. I'll figure it out, and if I do, I'll be sure to let you know. If you're interested to get your question answered by me on this video, do leave a comment down below with your question, and it might get featured on next week's edition. Until next time, guys, I hope you're doing well, thank you for watching, and once again, one is glad to be of service.